I dropped my Senior Bowl defensive player predictions today. 12 defensive ends, 12 defensive tackles, 14 linebackers, 16 corners, and 8 safeties. So, Shane, I tasked you yesterday. I said, go in there and look. You see who I've got. Like, not unlike what I did with you last week. I want you to give me one player that you would have added to each pile, and you can't say Jalix Hunt for defensive end.
Oh, man, you're taking my the end was tough, so that was tough. And I'm not going to include underclassmen here because that would be
that
fair
wouldn't be
you.
fair. No,
That
it
would
wouldn't
be
be
fair
fair
to you either. And plus, I think that would make it harder, to be honest, to know where that hits. So defensive end was tough. I thought your defensive end predictions were very good. So I guess I'd probably include Cedric Johnson from Mississippi as a player that I like just for the athletic upside. I guess I'd lose Grayson Murphy. I think Gabe Murphy from UCLA's there. Grayson, his twin, probably, right? But as probably player to lose. But I think you nailed defensive end. I mean, I think you did really well with that list.
I was with you, and where I was just going to include Gabe Murphy, but then I'm like, who doesn't like a good story?
That's
right. So that's why I put in Grayson as well. Not that he's a bad player, because he's a good player as well. He's just not on the level of his brother or of Latu. But I could see subbing out Blazik from D3 UW Platteville, who I put in there solely because I knew they were going to have some lower level guys. I just picked the wrong one.
Yeah,
maybe I picked the wrong one. Maybe they have both. I don't know.
I know you include a lot more small school players than I did, which is probably smart, but I think it's always tough for us this early in the game
because we don't know which one. So we're definitely guessing here. I know you probably had at least one of the South Dakota State linemen, right?
I don't know if I did. I don't know if I did include any of them.
We'll have to go back and look.
All right, check.
Who do you sub out and in on the defensive tackles?
So defensive tackles, I can go the player that Jim Nagy dropped early, who hasn't had the best season, but I think once again the athleticism. McKinley Jackson from Texas A&M, if he declares, is probably my pick. And I try to pick someone that you didn't put in your just missed as well, because you had some good names in the just missed, like Fabian Lovett and Jawan Briggs. I guess I'd probably lose Vernon Broughton from Texas. It was tough to pick a player to take out of this because I like the Thor Griffith from Harvard. I like that. Feels like a Senior Bowl move, just once again, a good story right there. So I guess I'd probably lose Vernon Broughton. And, maybe it's funny now with the underclassmen. Like, I feel like Vernon Broughton might get bumped by teammate Byron Murphy if he declares who's a third-year player.
Wasn't Griffith on the freak list?
Yes, for 2 years, I think 2 in a row.
Linebacker got a bit dicey for me because I don't know if you've noticed this or not, I moved a couple of edge guys into the linebacker category because they're undersized edge guys, and that's where they're going to play if they come to Mobile.
I did, which is smart. I think it's smart because that's what happens. That's exactly what happens. And so, linebacker-wise, I went with Jackson Mitchell from UConn as my pick. Like, I think we're definitely getting Christian Haynes from UConn, the interior offensive lineman. I think I'd probably pair him with Jackson Mitchell, who's had a good year. Taking someone out, I guess Marlo Wax. But this is why you're better at this than me, because you did a really good job with some of these linebackers, like Eugene Asante from Auburn. You're right. Like, he's probably going to go. I wouldn't have even thought to put him in, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I started looking at some of these guys, and it's like he hasn't been that productive this year. But like Richard Gibonor from Troy, NFL teams are going to love his length and his size and athleticism, and I think that's kind of his ticket to get in this game, right? And I was looking at guys like these they love these conversions, right? So that's how I get in like a praise. I'm a Wole from UTEP, JJ Weaver from Kentucky. And I was really surprised at how good of a season Kalen DeLoach has had at Florida State when I was researching this. So that's why I included him as well. But yeah, corner, I'm going to be honest, this felt kind of easy going through these names. I really don't think outside. Now, you told me that Jalen Simpson is probably a safety, which is fine. For this exercise, we'll just say we had 9 safeties and 15 corners, if you will. I really thought going through this, I could have put more corners in. Like, right. I feel like I left some guys out. And you mentioned I mentioned the small schools guys like PJ Jules from Southern Illinois. I've never watched him play, but I know he's got great size and length, and they love them some FCS corners at the Senior Bowl.
Right, they do. That's why like PJ Jules, I think's gonna be there. Feels pretty good. I think it was another one where it's tough to pick like who to take out. I mentioned Simpson to you, but corner and safety gets very blurry at the Senior Bowl. So I guess Kalen Carson from Wake Forest is probably mine. I guess if I had to pick a guy to lose, would be Ennis Rickshaw from Missouri, the other Missouri corner. And the only other one I consider is Nehemiah Pritchett from Auburn. I think did he get an invite last year?
Yes, and I completely forgot about that. So
okay. That doesn't mean he will this year,
right?
But
that's a good call on him. I can tell you one of all these 16 guys I have on this list, the one I feel the best about is Chris Abrams-Drain from Missouri because he's from Mobile.
Like he's getting in, right?
He's in. 100%. How about the safeties? Because I don't feel good about this. I feel good about the players, but I don't feel good about my evaluations, so to speak.
Yeah, saying safety's always tough. I think you put the wrong Ohio State safety in, so that's what I'm going with. I think Lathan Ransom, though he has an injury right now, looks like he'll be back. I think he would get in over Josh Proctor for Ohio State. Maybe both make it. They do like to have their Buckeyes up there. So that's probably what I'd go with. Though I like some of your just missed, like Patrick McMorris from Cal, I think is intriguing. Jalen Catalon from Texas is intriguing as well. And
Catalon's definitely intriguing from how good he was to kind of where he is now. I like McMorris more at San Diego State than I have.
Yeah, kind of old guys. The Shiloh Sanders slip in from Colorado is. Do you think they would just do it just to do it?
Yes, 100% yes, and that is why he was on this list. 100% yes.
If that feels like such a shrine move, it feels more of a shrine move, right? They just
and it could be. It could be, but to get that pub. So those are our that's my Senior Bowl predictions on defense. You can read them at draftcountdown.com for what it's worth. Like I said, we had no idea that this underclassmen announcement was coming today. The games did. They knew it was coming. We did not. We were not privy to this information. We always, this time every year, we've done this for this is our third year doing this now. So we do this the same time every year. We had no idea this was coming. So essentially these are useless now for the most part, but it was a fun exercise for us. We're still going to keep score at home and see how it works out for us there. See how it goes. But that's it.
I don't think we're beating last year's score though now. So.
No, absolutely not. We're not going to, I don't think we're going above 60% like we did last year. At this point, I'm just hoping we get around 40.